it was about the dogs. Nah, it's about power. Yeah. Put up to the specialty, sunrise on the ground. Dogs in the grooming tents, whispers all around. Catalog smiles with the tension in the air. Every handshake got a hidden little snare. Bored in the back room, running quiet little schemes. Bylaws in the pocket like a stack of poker dreams. Layers for the breed, but they guarding their throne. If you question anything, they coming for your bone. Grievance in the envelope, certified mail. Club justice system, but the deck.
Welcome, everybody. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So I decided to come on early because I'm bored. Anyway, just thought I'd do a dog talk and chill stream today. No, it's been a while since I've been on. I've been doing the talking with people in LawTube and stuff like that, talking about the Anthony and Metcalf trial that's been going on, but it went to the jury today, so thought I'd come on and do dog talk stuff. So I thought I would do that and do some stuff about just see what we can get into. But I thought I would first show this kid. Do you remember the kid that we watched? They got bit by his pit bull. This guy. Screen share. Instagram. Close that out. This kid, anyway, he tells his story about how he got bit, like his face. So I thought I would share his story on how he got bit. I think he got bit from resource guarding. So it's this kid.
This is 18 hours after hit. I hit all. It's crazy. This is 18 hours after hit. Man, this shit overly crazy, bro. I'm so fucking old right now, bro. This is pretty much the next day. As you can tell, I can barely even.
So this is the story. We're going to hear how this actually happened. So I believe it's going to be over resource guarding, but some of his stories is the dog just bit him, but I'm going to guess that it's over resource guarding and he didn't understand how to train his dog or to feed his dog in a separate room. But as you can hear, he has other dogs.
Talk. I can barely eat in who got house. Bro. This shit's so crazy.
By the way, he has a GoFundMe if you want to donate to his cause.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, pretty much, you know what I'm saying? What happened was like, look, man, you know what I'm saying? I came home around like 12 o'clock, bro. I had a great day, bro. Like, it was our little girl graduation, and we went out to eat. We celebrated. Shit was amazing. You know what I'm saying? It was fun. Going home that night, dude, I was telling myself, I'm like, yo, I love times like this because there wasn't too many of us, but there was enough, you know what I'm saying, to show the support for little girl. But it was a moment. It was a moment, and I love moments like that, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, so on my way up to the crib, and I'm just telling myself, like, girl, today was great, girl, you know what I'm saying? Today was nice. So I get home, you feel me? I get home, I go lay down. Before I lay down, I do a few things, whatever. But I look over, I see my dog, you know what I'm saying? And this is once again, right? He hit me twice. Like, this is the second time. This is the first time he hit me on my hand, right? And
so right there, he says for food, by the way. So that's why I'm thinking it's resource guarding.
Forgave him, you know what I'm saying? In a sense. So I look over to my dog, you know what I'm saying, and he didn't have his pillow or anything like that to sleep on. So you know what I'm saying, like I still cared about the dog, you feel me? I still cared about the dog, you know what I'm saying? So I get up, go grab a pillow, find a pillow, grab a pillow, go over to him. Now I drop the pillow down right there, Ryan. Drop the pillow down, Ryan. And so now he's sitting down. I make my way to his left side, and now he's on our right side on his left side. I roll him, boom. I roll him. I roll his head. I roll his head. Look, I rolled his head 2 times, bro. He's normal. He's completely normal, bro. He don't like before he hit me the first time. There are signs. You know, like if you know dogs a little bit, you can tell what kind of dog you got. And you can tell, like, you know what I'm saying, if the dog is really serious and you don't do it that time. I could tell this time he was normal again. He looked normal. He was acting normal, and this shit just
So he was looking normal, acting normal.
so the shit happened like on his so unaccepted. You know what I'm saying? But I rolled his head once. I rolled his head twice. And it's kind of like 4 or 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? The third fucking time, and this is the last time I was gonna do it. You know, I was going to roll his head one time. I was gonna go ahead, lay on Isaac down. I'm not trying to show this bitch ass dog some damn love, whatever. But
So that's how you treat him, this bitch ass dog some love. He's gonna show this bitch ass dog some love.
I try to roll this shit one time.
I try this shit one more time. I mean, are we listening to how he's talking about his own dog?
Just like that, gang. He just ground my shit. You know, he ground my face, bro. He ground my face, and it's like at that moment, bro, I'm like, ain't no way, bro. So in that moment, he grabbed my face, I grabbed his jaw, and I gotta tell his jaw and I hold on his jaw. You feel me? I gotta talk and hold on his jaw because I don't want him to shake. I don't want him to yank. I just want him to release. You get what I'm saying? And then it was like the longest fucking 3, 4, 5 seconds, bro. He finally let go. All right. Shit. He finally let go. He let go. He's not harking. He's not trying to get up on me anymore or anything like that. But when he let go, I slid to the bathroom instantly. Cause like I'm like, dude, like girl, like think like you see videos, bro. You see videos when you know what I'm saying, dog attacks or people aftermath of something happening to them. So I instantly slid. I slid to the bathroom. I ran, go hit the bathroom. So I'm trying to look at my face, bro. I look at my shit, gang. My shit so fucking slick, bro. Like I just got the tweaking, gang. I just got the tweaking on how she clean and shit like that. All the just clean. I just got the tweaking, sizing and shit, bro. Then she rushed me out. My little brother called the ambulance and shit like that. And that's what it was. Like I said, the dog, girl, but the dog dead. You know, the dog is no longer here. That motherfucker died 10 hours later, bro. As soon as I got out of the hospital. You feel me? And so
he died as soon as he got out of the hospital. 10 hours later.
And this is what I say, man. This is what I tell y'all, bro. If you got a fucking dog, especially if it's not like a little small dog. If you got a dog, bro, and you see signs, gang, if you see the signs, don't overlook the signs, bro. If a dog gets you short, get rid of it. If you see the signs, bro, trust me, the signs is there for a reason. It's a red flag. The signs is there for a reason, bro. Don't overlook it. Don't care how anybody else feel. Don't do none of that. Get rid of it, bro. And this is what I say, man. This is what I tell y'all, bro. If you got a fucking dog, especially if it's not like a little small dog.
Because he has a small dog. So his small dog is this dog that he thinks is not going to hurt him.
And yes, bro, it is true, and I never, ever, ever want to kick it he around any other big dog ever, bro. That's over it. That's done. That's there, bro. But this little guy right here, hey, this little guy, man, he'll never do that. You know what I'm saying? He'll never do that to
Never
me.
do it.
You know? And yeah,
So this was the dog who did it.
okay, so a lot of people want to see the dog that you know, pretty much did this to my face, bro. And I'm finna show y'all. I'm finna show y'all the dog. It's the last video I took of the dog before it was sent, you know, to English Anchor. And here's the dog right here. And do not be fooled. Don't be fooled, Earl. I know he looks sad, innocent. Dude, that's the same way he was looking before he down there took a whole goddamn face off. Okay, so a lot of
And so this is his face now.
all right, bro, we got a fat update, man. Fat update. Now look at my face, bro. Hey, look at that. I can literally feel it going down right now. It started about an hour ago, and at first I was a little confused. I'm like, bro, what is going on? Now I look at my mirror. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, I feel it. Like I can feel it going down right now.
Because it was probably infected, you know, the dog bite. His lip was probably infected, and the antibiotic, he was taking antibiotics and stuff and cleaning the wounds, you know.
But damn. I want to thank all y'all for y'all speed recovery messages and comments, the concern, the support.
The GoFundMe. He had a GoFundMe. He still has a GoFundMe up.
Support, everything, bro. It's not fully flattened, but like we getting there, man. All right, bro, we got a.
So yeah, so that's what happened. It was over food. Why his face was by the dog, I have no idea. But he's never gonna own a big dog again. Don't own a big dog. Anyway, I thought that was funny. But his little dog's never gonna bite him. Never gonna hurt him. So, and somebody made this meme that was funny.
Not a fucking dog. Cersei it's not like a little small dog. If you see the signs, don't overlook the signs, yo.
Don't grab me. If you grab me, I'm gonna bite you. I swear to God, if you grab me, I'm gonna bite the fuck out you. You're gonna let me go. I'm a dog.
Oh, that's the guy that dog was talking to. Hope you get well soon, bro.
So somebody made a meme out of it. Thought it was funny. Anyway, I thought that was funny. So there's that. Then I seen NWA put this up, and I thought this was hilarious. I thought I would share this.
Better days. Hey, better.
And I thought this was pretty funny. Because I thought this is absolutely the truth. The dog media is going to the trash. Now it's more fakers than a $4 bill. Nothing but politicians now. CNN, constant negative news, Fox, overreactions, experts. Yeah, everybody thinks they're an expert at something. TMZ. But I honestly believe this is the truth. It's hilarious. And I agree with it 100%. Like, you can't trust anything. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I wanted to, I don't know if people watched, because I know that like some people don't see Joe's podcast. I know there was a couple people that were on my channel that didn't even know who Joe was. But he did a really good interview with Dale Martinson. And well, I only got to see like a few minutes of it, and then I had some stuff I had to do, so I didn't get to see the whole thing. And so I kind of wanted to do a review of it because there were some key points in it that I actually seen. And I was like, oh my God, those were really key points. And so I wanted to kind of do a review of it and watch it. So I'm going to do that now.
Connie Corso's podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
I'm the true champion, and they make me the underdog. I'm gonna show them all they're wrong because I'm the champion. I'm the real champion. There'll never be one like me.
And Dale has his own podcast. He literally has his own podcast. He writes a lot of articles. He has his own Facebook page. He writes some really good articles. Love his articles. But he's really good. And you guys should go follow Dale.
All right,
Highly recommend it.
everybody, welcome back to the show, NWA Connie Corsos. If this is your first time here, we talk all things dog with everybody across the world. They don't tell them what we're going to be talking about, but it's all about dogs. Sometimes chickens too. My biggest shows have been about game fowl for some reason. I don't know. But today we got Brother Dale Martinson in the house. How are you, sir?
I'm doing awesome. I've enjoyed your podcast, and so I was pretty excited to get an invite. So
I didn't even know you.
I'm here in your yard.
I didn't even know you watched the podcast.
Absolutely.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
All things dog.
All things dogs, yeah.
All things dog.
I've been watching yours too for quite a while. I always thought yours was cool. I drive trucks in the day, and y'all always take on some topics like, I'm like, dang, I would have never thought about talking about something like that. And then you can go in depth with some things that
We get in the weeds, man. We get in the weeds.
For sure.
The thing about Dale is he's honest about stuff, which I love because he will actually talk about things that most people won't talk about. Dale's very much old school.
For sure. Well, let's just start out by telling the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, we have been involved in the pet care industry. We had boarding and grooming businesses up until the last 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We professionally handled show dogs, and we also had maintained a breeding kennel, and we bred and showed our own dogs that we raised and sold some really great show dogs and some really great pets. And so in the last 15 years, we have kind of, I don't want to say retired, but we've moved over to the lake, and we have do just our own dogs now. And I've taken up some dog show judging. So, this year's been my international year. I'm leaving next weekend for Korea. Just a couple weeks ago, I was in Mexico, and I think 2 weeks before that was in England, and lots of shows in the States. So judging dog shows is awesome. It's a lot of fun. Get a chance to meet the people and their dogs and all that. So it's no matter where you go, there's a common thread with all dog people.
Uh-huh.
And you're always kind of with family a little bit when you've got dog people around you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you've been in the industry a good while. You've been judging for the last few years, right?
Correct. Yeah. No. In high school, I actually worked at a greyhound racing track, and worked for the trainers there, and as a lead out for the track, and then got into grooming and training a dog in obedience and scent work, and then kind of got pulled into the conformation world, and kind of lost my mind in there a little bit. And I met a girl at a dog show. She had a pretty cool dog, and talked her into let me show her dog into marrying me. And so we've been together for 41 years. And so she's kind of the yin and yang, maybe the brains of the operation.
Right.
But we've done all aspects of it, and it's all good, and it's all part of the of the industry, because it is an industry. It's a
It is.
multi-billion-dollar industry,
Yes, it is.
and it's for some people it's a hobby, and that's awesome too.
Mhm.
But but it's all there's a passion for purebred dogs.
Right. And see, you're a dog man through and through. You know, been around a lot of the different little subcultures in dogs. And
Yeah.
you're 100% in dogs. You live straight off the knowledge of the being in this industry, right?
Oh yeah. No, I've had American Bullies before.
Yeah.
And I've been to their American Bully shows.
Right.
I like those a lot.
Right.
Very cool.
Right.
Because the thing about American Bullies is guys are interested in them. And so whenever the guys are interested, man, we're all in. It gets real. But
Right.
the thing is that there's a lot of knowledge in those breeds. It's a different venue than AKC,
Mhm.
but lots of knowledge on DNA and very into the reproductive end. And I think that's probably something in the last 15 years or so, we as breeders have really learned to maximize what we can produce, the most puppies, the most offspring with the fewest dogs. So
Yeah.
the fewest dogs in your yard, and you're going to get the biggest bang for the buck, which means you're going to do a better job with them,
Mhm.
and you're going to have higher profit margins. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, everything has to be paid for.
Yeah. And you're right. Like the bully culture, the small dog, companion dog world. It's a lot of each little culture you can pull something from for your program. I know that.
Everybody has something to offer.
They do. You mentioned the bully shows and the fun shows versus the AKC shows. I was reading somewhere. Is it a decline in the participation of AKC shows, or is it registered? I'm not sure how that was working.
AKC.
Okay, I can tell you about that.
Please.
So there is a real increase in the number of events. So in 2000, a short 26 years ago, Jane and I were specialing, which is what we call when we're campaigning a dog every weekend for ranking. We were specialing a dog, and I Believe I Can Fly was that dog's name. And we the song was just out 26 years ago. But anyway, we did in a calendar year 100 dog shows, and so, but that was only weekends. I mean, there might
That's money.
have been 1 or 2 3-day shows, but there were a few 1-day shows. Today's dog show world, you can do 100 shows by the 1st of July, easy, without breaking a sweat.
Right.
Now we're doing 2 shows in 1 day. We're doing weekends where you might
6 shows, 7 shows. There's a lot of difference. There's a lot of specialty shows, clusters where there's more shows in a weekend.
show your dog. They'll start the show on Wednesday or Thursday on through the weekend, and then have a sporting dog club, a toy dog club, an all breed club, and you're going to show that dog multiple times a day. And so you can really accomplish a lot of showing. I mean, you can just, you can, I took some puppies out to a 3-day weekend and ended up showing them like 5 times and got them almost finished, like in 1 weekend. It's like, oh, okay, knock that litter out,
Yeah.
So what that does, as a result, when you have more events, it's going to dilute your entry.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And people are going to finish their dogs, and you get some good dogs, and you hit some events. Well, you're knocking them out. Well, you can't. It's not a matter of just like clicking your heels and having some more. It takes some time. You got to get the breeding done. Got to get them raised up. Got to get.
And people don't special dogs. They don't special every dog in their litter. Specialing a dog takes money. First of all, most people have backers and stuff like that to special a dog. And once you finish a dog, most people, well, back in the day, most people didn't go for, bronze, silver, and gold to get grand champions. And most people don't campaign a dog for the entire year. They will campaign one dog maybe, or a dog. Once you finish a dog, you just keep it home, do other things with it, maybe do sports or some other venue, or just finish that dog and then go about doing other things. Most people don't special a dog unless it's a top tier dog, because that's money. You just don't put that kind of money into every dog.
Get them trained. Got to get all the stuff in there. You might not have dogs to show every show for a whole year. there'd be no way you could have enough of them.
Right, right.
And so then what we start to do is go, I'm gonna pick and choose where I want to show.
That's right.
It's like I like that venue. They got good.
I like that venue. I like that judge. That judge is going to like this dog. There's all kinds of reasons of why you wouldn't do that, especially in breeds of what he has, what he breeds. If you find a judge that like if you're in Dobermans and you like a judge that likes a more rustic looking Doberman versus the more finer Dobermans, a more European Doberman, whatever, you're going to go to those judges. A more a breeder judge is going to like a more stockier Doberman with more bone and substance, that type of thing. You're going to go to that type of judge. Like in Corsos, it's a little different because they're all over the place. But when you're looking for a specific judge, you're going to follow that judge around to specific shows, and those judges don't go to every show.
Food, this parking's cheap. I'm going to park. And then, because I'll tell you, right after COVID, the shows right out immediately following COVID, which was, all right, just a little over 5 years ago, those shows booked out. I mean, they booked out that fast, over 2,500 dogs, just like wham. Why? Because we hadn't been able to go to dog shows for like 1 year.
Yeah.
And we took dog shows that would normally get 600 or 700 dogs, and they were booking out at 2,800 dogs, and they were doing it in the first hour of entries being opened.
Wow.
I mean, it was like, so, but then as the shows got going and got, then it started to settle back down again.
Oh, gotcha.
So that, to me, that's my thing. I think there's lots of people.
And most people too also don't keep dogs like Corsos do. People that have Corsos keep dogs that are so rare to me. Like most people that breed like he breeds or like I breed, whatever, we keep our best pick. So there's one dog in the litter that we keep as the puppy. So our number one pick. So that number one pick is the dog that we will show. We don't keep 3 or 4 dogs out of a litter, and those are the dogs that we show. We keep the best pick because that's the best pick in the litter, and that's the dog that we show. So how some of these breeds, like when you have a solidified breed, that breeder is going to pick the best pick, and that's the best pick that goes on to show. Not every dog goes to a show ring, 4 and 5 dogs deep.
There's lots of show dogs. There's just a ton of shows.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That explains it. So you yourself have finished over 500 champions of your own.
Yeah, if I had the entry money back, I could go buy a private island somewhere.
Yeah,
that's a. I mean, what a dumb way to spend a lot of money. But yeah, we were obsessed, and we like to show our dogs, and part of. I think the cool thing about showing dogs is you might be the top paid professional in the industry with a multi-million-dollar client there, or you might be someone just mom and pop raising your dog in your backyard, and you're throwing it in the seat of the truck and it's riding between you on the way to the show, and you got a chance of winning.
Yeah, that's right.
You can take them out, and
right.
if you know your game, and if you bring an A game, you can win.
Right.
And so I think that's a kind of an equalizer. If you put in the work, and if you bring in some top-notch dogs, and there's a little bit of like an artistic skill set to it, and if you know your breed, and heck. I know people that do Gamecocks, and their birds are amazing.
Right.
I mean, you might go, well, those people they're not driving an expensive vehicle. I'm like, watch out, because they've got some top rare. The breeder mentality. There's a skill set and a quality to people who know how to breed, who know how to condition, who know how to train, who know how to show, and they can, and those people are lethal in any competition.
In any competition. That's right. You sit there, you talking about the gang foul, and I started the show. I was like, man, my biggest show's been gang foul. And it's funny because you stay in Oklahoma now, right?
Yeah.
Bobby Fairchild has the most viewing on my show. He's he's old country boy, but he believes in confirmation, a total bird. I mean, he's over. He's off the chain. Let's talk about that a little bit. being a judge, being around as long as you have in dogs, and kennel blindness. Is kennel blindness always just something people can't see, or do you think people can see it and just don't want to correct it because they have invested their money and
Both. Sometimes they can't see it. Sometimes they don't want to see it because they have to get rid of their whole kennel. Or I think it's a little bit of both, because they love the dog too much, or they don't want to see it, or they're afraid to bring in outside stud. Because for me personally, it's the bitch. The bitch is your number one foundation. But everybody looks at the males. They always like, oh, this is the male, the male, the male. No, it's your bitch. It's your foundation is your bitch.
time? What's your real thoughts on that?
Well, I think that you can't believe your own advertising.
Right.
You can't believe your own hype.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been a time or two we shut the van door and I'll say, damn, I didn't even realize these dogs were that good. And Jane will like, oh, they're not. You're just not lucky. She's like, that judge was blind. What were they thinking?
Oh my God.
I mean, that is the skill set of a good breeder.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
A good breeder is honest with themselves first.
Right.
And they don't care who owns that dog. It might be their best friend. It might be their worst enemy. Don't care. If it's the best one, it's the best one.
Yep.
And a good breeder will go ahead and go, yeah, okay, I hate your guts. I don't like you at all.
Right.
What do you want for me to buy a puppy from you? Because you got really good dogs. You're a horrible person, but you have, I mean, that.
But I need something from you. Right. My best mentor, or my mentor was my best friend, said that all the time. I always said that to her. I'm like, why do you let those people use your dogs? And she said, because they talk so much shit about her. And she says, because they still need good shit. They may talk shit about me, but they're still coming to me to get shit because they need to better their lines or whatever. They may talk shit about you. They may whatever, but they're still coming to you for your lines. So you still let them breed,
Is work up now. So what happens is people go to the show and they'll get a degree of success.
Right.
And sometimes what happens over time,
Goes
you
to your head.
learn the craft of conditioning and presentation.
Mm.
And you learn the art of the illusion of the show. And sometimes that illusion will carry you to a certain amount of a success. But that's not real.
You're right.
That's not real. Once you step out of the monkey house, those dogs really aren't that good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit of hype. That's some strategic entering. That might be bad competition.
Mm-hmm.
You might be a big fish in a little pond.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Yeah. And judge may be your best friend, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I always say that there is always going to be a better dog in a whelping box being born right now than what you have in your kennel. Somewhere right now, there is a better dog being born right now. That's I say that to everybody. You may think you have the best, but somewhere right now in the world, there is a better dog being bred than what you have in your kennel. So you always want to breed better than what you have. You're always striving to breed better. And somewhere in the world, there is a better dog than what you are breeding right now. So anybody who says, I have the best in the world, I'm going to be the best in the world, this blah, blah, blah bullshit. You always want to strive for better. Somebody who thinks they have the best in the world, that are living in that delusion that they are the best in the entire world, and they will only ever be the best, is living in la la land, because someone out there right now is breeding better than what you have. And you should always strive to be better than the litter you produced before. And somebody's breeding that right now.
if you have a true dog breeders, they don't ever believe their own hype, and they'll go, yeah, we won, but there was nothing there.
Mhm.
Right.
That kind of thing. Or
Exactly.
but you have to look at your dogs with honest eyes,
Right.
and you have to breed them. The biggest thing is you got to breed your dogs.
Right.
Mhm.
You don't breed your dogs, you're not gonna ever get ahead in this game. And because by the time you get into 6 generations of your pick of litter females that you've kept back each generation,
Yep.
your dogs are damn good.
Mhm.
Those are good dogs.
Right.
And by that point in time, those stud dogs, people, the fancy celebrate stud dogs.
Yep.
They all get excited about stud dogs.
Mhm.
Breeders celebrate their bitches.
Right.
Right.
And that bitch line, your core set of bitches that you work with, and then once you know what those dogs are, then you bring in a dog and you decide, is it stay or does it go? And you're just adding into your bitches is all you're doing.
That's right. Yeah.
And you pull in that, you lock in that quality. And, that's when good breeders have bitches. And it's a bitch line.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
those people you can't beat because they just have one good one after another.
Right.
But the males get all the hype.
But they have to reproduce themselves. You have to have fundamentally dominant pieces that are going to reproduce themselves. And then you bring in your stud dogs, you bring in other blood that is going to make them better and better and better. So your lines have to show that they can reproduce themselves. That's what he's trying to say.
Oh yeah, the stud. Yeah, he's the hype man for the kennel.
Okay.
What everybody uses, the flavor of the month is always almost always going to be the stud. And everybody out there in the show world is always going to say, I want to breed to that dog. I want to breed to that dog. And it's always going to be a dog. The flavor of the month is in the show world is always going to be a dog.
He'll be there doing his thing, showing off his physique.
Hammer shots. He'll be looking good.
Yep.
And all of these stats,
Yep.
but
Mhm.
you got a good bitch.
Oh yeah.
You're ahead of the game. But you got to bring.
You gotta bring it.
And I think that's one thing as competition drops out, and you got, instead of like one year, I showed up at the National, and we went reserve winner's dog, reserve winner's bitch, best of breed, best of opposite, best of veteran. And I handed my dogs to everybody. I was just like, you show one, because I knew I couldn't win every class because the judge wouldn't go for it.
Right.
But I brought the pick of a dozen litters. I brought the best ones.
See,
I raised it. I've had,
the pick, not the picks, not the first, the second, the third, or whatever. The pick of a dozen litters. So if he had the pick, he only picked one from those dozen litters. It wasn't like this is the first pick, the second pick, the third pick. Like all these people, like this is what kills me about the Corso breed is everybody's like, well, I kept 2 and 3 puppies from each litter so that I could watch them grow up. You should know what puppy is your best dog from each litter. I've seen people have 2 and 3 litters and they're keeping 2 and 3 puppies. And I'm like, you don't know which one is your best puppy out of that litter? And like, that's what kills me about these breeders, because I'm like, I don't understand how you don't know. Like, I've never kept 2 and 3 puppies from a litter. Like, this is my pick puppy. The rest of them can be sold. This is my pick puppy. You should know. Well, I need to watch them grow up and decide in 8, 9 months, 18 months, whatever, then I'll place it. Why? You can't discern which one you like, which one you think is the best? I mean, for me personally, you're not going to know which is the difference between what my first puppy, what my show puppy is to my pet puppy, because there should be very little difference, and you're not going to know the difference because it's very little that I'm picking the difference between. But for me, it's what's going to get me that championship. But for me, this is the pick puppy. This is the one I'm taking to the show. I'm not taking 4 puppies.
other people, they're bringing whatever lived.
Right.
The litter.
Right. Hey, notice what he said. Notice what he said, y'all. For my new people, he said the pick, not the first pick. He means something when he says the pick of the litter.
There's only one pick.
Only one pick. Yeah.
There's only one pick.
Yeah.
After that, you're just sitting at the Golden Corral. You
That's
know,
right.
there's nothing. There's like, okay, sure.
True.
But when you have those pick of litters and you start pulling that back in, that's when you start. That's because you'll have good litters, and you'll have something really good, and then you have something kind of good, and then you have good enough, and then there'll be some that are like good enough if you know how to do it right. You know, if you can fit them out right, and if you can show them right, you can make it happen.
Yeah, you can have puppies in the litter that if you give to and like to him, I could give a puppy to him that is like, this is an okay puppy, but or like Daniel, right? Daniel Rosa, you give a puppy to Daniel Rosa and he could probably show it and it would get a championship, because the handlers know how to change all the flaws, right? They can take a whippet into a Doberman ring and make it look like $1 million. Why? They know how to change all the flaws from your dog and make it look like $1 million. But you don't want that. You don't want to show a dog going to AKC. Well, it used to be that way. A dog going to AKC, getting its championship, used to mean that it met every requirement of the standard, and that dog getting its championship was the final gold star on that dog to go into the gene pool. That's what that used to mean. Don't mean that anymore, but that's what it used to mean. Now it's just everybody gets a participation trophy and it's pay to play and all this bullshit. But that's what it used to mean. That's why we used to show. That's why we used to pay to get our championship. I mean, go into the show ring, get judged, all that stuff, because that meant you did your health testing, you did all the right things, and then you got your AKC championship, and this meant this dog deserves to be in the gene pool. Now, I have no idea what the hell it means, because now people are doing CBD oil and all this crazy bullshit just to be able to dog walk in the ring and be touched by a judge.
But that kind of thing, you do the work, raise the litters, sell the puppies, keep back the best ones.
Yeah. You have to, do that. And then, some people, I got all kind of people that watch this podcast. So sometimes people be listening to us breeders talk, and they, you talking about picking the best puppy, and they think, all the other puppies are no good. No, that's not what we say. It's just, you wouldn't even be able to identify what we're looking at. You know what I mean? So, I think people get that confused. But before we go on, you was talking about shows, and you had a really good podcast this last episode. It was called Unspoken Rules in the Dog Show World. Mm-hmm. And man, y'all was talking about stuff I ain't never heard. I'm like, oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So and a whole bunch of good tips and things like that. As far as the Tack Box podcast, what made you put that together? And I don't know your co-host name. I'm sorry, brother, but I don't know if you can kind of tell us a little bit about the podcast.
Well, so my co-host, Tyson Wald, he breeds same kind of dogs I do.
Okay.
He actually graduated from the same high school I did in the same town in Rapid City, South Dakota, 20 years after I did. Oh, wow. And we met at a dog show, and he's like, was interested in breeding. I'm like, and he's just a super, he's so techie, and he knows how to really make it happen.
Oh, boy, he is. Yeah. He's sharp.
He's sharp. He's got the game. And it's like, wow, if I was as smart as he was as early in the game, I'd have been a lot further. Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of our information, if we don't share it, it dies with us.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And and that's where, because people feel very alone when you're breeding dogs and you have dogs. When you have animals.
Or people just make up words and change words and terminology to fit whatever the hell they want to. And us old school people were like, that's not what that means. And they're like, no, that's what it means now. And it's so now nothing means what it used to mean. And I don't know. I'm so lost in today's terminology that I'm like, that's not at all what that means. But now that's what it means.
You're alone a little bit because you're tied down to there. You don't get to go. It's harder to go. It's harder to have people come in. It's situate, and people feel like they can't talk about their situation. It's like going, I've had this happen. I had that happen. And there's so much judgment.
Yeah.
There is so much judgment. And that's where I just kind of want to say, hey, it's happened to all of us. We've all had these exact same things happen. There's no shame in anybody's game. You do the best you can for your animals. And this is a great industry, but we have a lot of between the animal rights. We have a lot of political correctness that's trying to cancel us out with a shop or adopt, don't shop.
Yeah.
All of that crap.
Yeah. We'll get into that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and which is a whole other industry, just trying to drown out that industry. Mm-hmm. And then the breeders kind of feel kind of by themselves and kind of ostracized and kind of like they're kind of like, what do we do? And are we really just kind of second-rate citizens?
Oh, well, now you're not allowed to even have a purebred dog. You have to have a band dog. You have to breed all this other bullshit. You have to there's all kinds of weird shit. Like you have to, you can't even have just regular dogs anymore, right? Like there's so many things now that you can't say the truth. And if you try to say the truth, then, you know, you're not an expert. So who the hell are you? You can't say that this terminology means this or it doesn't. Like there's so much that you can't even talk about. You can't be in one breed and say, well, this holds true for all breeds. Like structure, it's just in the angle in which you need it for this breed or that breed or whatever. And no, well, this, like I get in trouble all the time for saying, well, this is this. Well, no, it's not Dobermans. I understand it's not Dobermans, but you just need this or whatever, or there's this health testing for this. So why don't you do it for this? Well, it's not Dobermans. I understand it's not Dobermans. I get in trouble so much for that.
So we're kind of, you know, shoved to the back, and, you know, the vets don't want us, and, you know, and we've got all this opposition, and maybe we're just bad or something like that, you know. And I mean, and here we have this great sport industry that has been around. I mean, Westminster Kennel Club has been going 1 year shorter than the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
I mean, we've been showing dogs in this country. We make very few things in this country anymore. And our purebred dogs are some of the best in the world.
Oh, but they're not purebred, right? Because now we have people saying, oh, nothing's a purebred dog anymore, right? So there are no purebred dogs. So that's why we're allowed to mix them and make mutts, right? So I mean, that's the whole premise now, right? Is that there are no purebred dogs. So that's why we're allowed to make band dogs everywhere, right? That's why everybody wants to make their own breed. It's like everything is like, it's so upside down world that we live in.
And we should be nothing but proud of them. And that's just something that we need to set aside and support.
We're not allowed to be proud of having purebred dogs. That's another thing. Like you can't be proud of anything, because then that makes people that want to make their own breed, instead of just, you know, bettering the breeds that are already here. Well, I'll just make my own breed, instead of realizing how long it actually takes to make a breed. You know, you're not allowed to be even proud of that, of having a purebred dog or loving a purebred dog and not wanting it fucked with, basically, right? So you're not allowed to do that either. And then, so if you go against that, well, now you're an asshole and you're not an expert and you don't know anything and blah, blah, blah. And they know way more than you do. And it gets crazy. The whole dog world is absolutely gone off the rails. I'll be right back.
For the breeders. And I think in this way, kind of like our podcast is just kind of give back and kind of support this stuff, and maybe have someone feel like I can do this. And there are people out there that are doing this too.
Right. You hit up some good points, because there was a lot of reasons I was starting my podcast. People was scared to ask questions. And then, you know, I'm in a recreated breed, which is still relatively small, but popular. Really popular. Yeah. And so we got our we got cliques and we got divisions, and so it's just like people scared. They tiptoeing around. If they have an issue, they know they probably be ridiculed for it, and, you know, and this and that. So I think your podcast is it should have a lot more followers than what it has, and it will get there too.
We've been going for 1 year. We've been going for a year.
1 year. Yeah. Y'all, the Tack Box podcast, go over there. Y'all be like, oh, Joe was right.
Who knows?
I ain't never stared you wrong. Yeah. You mentioned vets. You know, breeders, that's another thing. You know, a lot of us, we have to go to what we call breeder-friendly vets and things like that. Do you think the relationship that, you know, if I was a vet, I'd be like, I want all the breeders, because there'll be, you know, more volume, more, you know, things for my workers, for my business to thrive. But it seems like in some mainstream places, you know, I basically I had to go to the country to go get a good vet. Why is that?
Well, okay, that's a really good question. And it's something kind of interesting, because when we was judging in Mexico a couple of weeks ago, the actual Kennel Club owns the showgrounds, and right on the Kennel Club showgrounds is a veterinary hospital teaching school. They had 25 vets in residence plus students, and those vet students come over and work the dog show And those vet students are walking out of there. They know about purebred dogs. They know the value of the mission statement of the purebred dog.
Mhm.
And I mean, you think about every one of those vets that graduates from there that practices for the next 40 or 50 years. Those people they're breeder friendly, breeder knowledgeable, dog breeding knowledgeable. I think a lot of our veterinary stuff that we have now, and I mean, we couldn't do this without our vets, but I think that our education and a lot of the vet scholarships and sponsorships is going away from breeding and only to just the pet niche, where they only want to do cell shots and veterinary products like Frontline and things like that. And they don't want to take on bigger work like C-sections and reproductive things. And it's just really difficult to get into a breeder friendly area. That's part of the reason where I picked where I live, is because I have 3 reproductive clinics near me. Because
Yeah, your best bet is to find a large animal vet that does large and small animals. Because if not, these small animal vets, they the first thing they want to do is spay neuter, spay neuter, spay neuter.
it's just like not an option. So one thing that you have to do as a breeder is the time to establish a relationship with a vet is not when you need them. The time when you need to find your vet is like, you're going to make this relationship, you're going to involve them in what you're doing, and so that they care that you support their business and they're going to support your endeavors. And it's like, and every person that's raising a dog, I don't care if it is a Labradoodle or if it's a bulldog or whatever, all just dogs to the vet. One time, 30 some years ago, Jane and I had we had a dog with us that went into labor early, and we were coming back from a dog show in the motorhome, and the dog needed a cesarean section. So here we are, states away from home. And I picked up the local newspaper at the gas station. I saw an ad for bulldog puppies. I called a super nice lady named Joanne in Beaumont, Texas, and said, "Hey, Joanne, congratulations on your puppies. I need a vet recommendation." And she was so nice. She called her vet for me, said, "These nice people are traveling and such and such." And she even said, "I'll come down and pick you up and take you over to such and such." She couldn't have been nicer.
Oh, wow.
So that's part of the dog breeder thing. We're all in it together.
Problem is, there's not people like that anymore. I mean, everybody is so out for themselves. Everybody isn't that friendly that they would actually do that. And the problem is that vets don't want to do that. Vets are so commercialized now that, well, you don't have an established patient care. I don't know about your history on shots and all this shit and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And it gets to the point where you can't do that type of stuff anymore.
But need to make those relationships. So this is part of like new breeders. You need to go over there and say, "Joe, where do we go here? Who's best for this? Who's best for that? What can we, figure it out?" Because the time to do that is before.
That's right.
And right now with progesterone, surgical inseminations, all of this stuff, the better ways of breeding, we can pinpoint. Like, we run all of our own progesterone in-house. We have a meningitis, and we breed on progesterone, we whelp on progesterone. I mean, because that way you can really target it out, and we know what we need when we're going to need it. None of the surprise stuff, because that's really a thing in the past.
Yeah, 100%. I know I didn't mention this, but your primary dog right now is the King Cavalier King?
Yeah, we have Cavalier King Charles Spaniels and Japanese Chin.
Japanese Chins, okay. All right, so yeah, if y'all look for one of those, then y'all know where they're at. So it was something, okay, this is what I was going to ask you. You were saying that the vets kind of, in some areas, they go more for, the pet home, the big consumer pet home market. With health testing, we use Embark, Wisdom Panel, different things like that as tools for health testing and things like that. But I even noticed that they have curved to the pet home. Do you think that helps or hurts breeders?
I think it hurts breeders too. I honestly think that using UC Davis and labs like that are more reliable than Embark and all that. I seriously do, but that's just my opinion.
Could you hear me?
Do I think?
Okay, I said, do you think that for is like the health testing?
With the wisdom panel and all this stuff,
Yeah,
it's like
geared more towards.
or you're gonna because a lot of the vet clinics are getting bought up by corporations.
Yeah.
So a lot of corporate companies, and they're selling to these people, and they're selling pet health insurance. And what they're doing is they're going ahead and saying, you got one dog, and this is how we're going to get the very most money we can from you, and we're going to get you into the system. And they try to make it into like human healthcare, which that's a whole nother podcast. We don't want to go into that. But the whole corporate vet industry is a very different thing. So you're going to have to find probably someone a little bit off the beaten path, maybe a large animal vet, find the breeder person that everybody's using, and kind of work into that and see where you can go, find who you work well with and start working on that and keep them close, work with them closely.
Right.
And be a good client. Be a good client. I mean, that's the other thing is be the person that they want to have. So, I mean, because breeding dogs is wonderful. It can be a lot of fun. It's super rewarding, and it can be a total shit show.
Yes.
You can have death, destruction, and despair.
Right.
And that's part of it too.
Well, yeah, because no matter how much you breed, no matter how much you plan for, no matter how much you have all the information in front of you and do all the right research and do all the right things, Mother Nature, like I always say, is a fickle bitch, and she's going to throw her little monkey wrench into it too. And so you still have to have, somebody there that is going to be there, that you're not going to pay an emergency vet $5,000 just to do something. So large animal vets are probably the greatest because they're there for emergencies. They can come in home, do all that stuff too. I love my large animal vet, but he's a large animal, small animal, and does country stuff. So like those are the best. Large and small animal vets are always the greatest. So if you can find that, always have a holistic vet on call too. So like there's so many different things that you can find versus just a corporate vet. But also like find somebody that you can like call the universities and get in with somebody at the university. Find a repo vet, get in with somebody that's a repo vet, and start, like he said, start talking to somebody, start like making a rapport with these people. Because like I have somebody at Ohio State University Veterinarian Clinic who sends me 4-year veterinarian books when they come out so that I get all the information. I mean, I buy the books, but he sends them to me. So when they come out and they're new, I can read what they're being taught and all that stuff so that you can get all this information and educate yourself. If you're going to be a breeder, you have to learn to educate yourself so that, because your vet isn't updating the information, they're a vet. So they're relying on you as a breeder to educate them. And so every information that you need to know for your vet is coming through a breeder that is willing to help them as well. I mean, the greatest thing about my vet is he's like, I've learned as much about the dogs from you as I learned from being in this clinic.
Yeah, you're gonna experience.
So you don't bring that negativity with you.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, this went bad. That's too bad. I'm sorry about that. Moving on. And the better the breeder is, the quicker they come to acceptance and realizing what the situation is and moving on to a positive resolution.
Right.
So you can't be that.
Is it you as a breeder, if you breed enough or you're around the people that breed enough, you are going to experience shit that you've never experienced before. Like my mentor used to say, if you haven't experienced, because you haven't breed enough. And that's the truth. Because shit will go wrong. It's bound to. It's Mother Nature. We're not God. We can't do everything. And nothing is ever perfect. No matter how much you plan for it, shit will go wrong.
that you can't just like dump all your problems onto your vet and have them figure out all your breeding program and all your breed problems. This is something you have to figure out at home. And when you come to the vet, you need to have kind of an idea as to what you want,
Right.
what your dogs need, and what you need to be doing to keep your end up.
Right. And
Yeah.
the vet gonna take you to the school, because you're gonna, when you're running into problems starting out, you're gonna see those problems, how to fix them. I will record that stuff and remember it. You know, I mean, and just husbandry itself, you have to know it so you can stay out of the vet sometime. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah,
That's the big thing. The
Right.
big thing is learning how to keep your animals healthy,
hmm
how to take care of your dogs right. It's like those are early things that I learned on is how to clean teeth, because I clean my dog's teeth and I do it myself. And
Right.
because I want to do it often, and I'm cheap. And so I don't want to, so all right, you have to figure out what you need,
Mhm.
how you're going to do it. And then the more hands-on you are, I mean, the people who come to the show or, that are scrubbing the green out from underneath their fingernails, those are the people that are playing to win, because they know it's not just getting dressed up and walking in a circle.
Right.
We're taking care of animals. We know what it's about. We know
right.
the score, and we know our business.
Right.
And so I mean, and there are lots of people who are interested on a whole nother level, that they want the exhibition, the participation. Excellent. We need those people too.
Mhm.
But the breeders carry the weight,
That's
and
right.
and the buck stops with us. And like sometimes people will say, "What would you do in this or this?" And if I'm picking for somebody else, I might be more conservative in what I'll be willing to suggest. I keep them on a safer track, because I'm not a crier. So I mean, I'll go ahead and roll the dice on something, probably
Right.
a little bit more aggressive on something than somebody else, but I'm prepared for how it goes, good or bad.
Right. Yeah. I'm that type of decision maker too. If I make that decision, I roll the dice on that decision. However it goes, I'm okay with it because I made the decision.
It
If
was your
somebody else did it, I'll be pissed if it didn't work.
And that's why when you turn around and tell someone,
Right.
you tell them, it's like, oh, well, don't do that. You're going to get whole litter miss marks. Don't
Yeah.
breed those colors together. Don't do this. Don't do that. Because they might not, if this is their only litter they're going to have for the next 2 years, then you need to be really safe with that.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's like when you're actually when you're establishing and making a bloodline and setting type, and you figure out the COI that you want to work with on your dogs,
Mhm.
and you start going, I'm going to do this percentage of outcrossing, this percentage of line breeding, this percentage of inbreeding, and so I can put this together to see what I have,
Right.
Because the thing is, we were talking a little bit about health testing,
Mhm.
and health testing, and if anybody has a problem with this or a complaint, talk to Joe, because it was his idea to have me come.
Yeah.
The health testing is for making better decisions.
That's
How
right.
to make smart, to know what you have that you're working with, because identified health problems aren't a bad thing. That's something that you need to work on.
Right.
It's the stuff you don't have any idea that will kick you in the teeth. I
Right.
mean, the things you know about, you can work on that. It's
Mhm.
like, I need to improve this and this. Okay, we can do this. But health testing is to help you make smarter decisions. So maybe this dog doesn't have a great rear, but it's a wonderful dog. Okay, it's fine. We know he doesn't have a good rear. We're going to breed him to stuff that is going to be strong in that department.
Mhm.
You're going to make those choices. It's not about trying to breed perfect dogs, because
Right.
Can't.
And eliminating
There is no perfect dog.
everything. Yeah.
No. we're
Yeah.
just making smarter choices. So
Mhm.
if the dog carries something that we don't want, well, then we're going to, this dog's a carrier, fine. We're going to breed him to negative bitches.
Which is
You know,
right.
we can make that stuff work.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times people hide behind health testing,
Yep.
Mhm.
and they'll go, well, look, I did everything I could do a health test. It's like, you know what? When you look at the litter puppies and you say, these puppies all their fontanelles closed, their bites were all perfect, they did or didn't have hernias. These are the temperaments were this, that they weaned off at this point, they took their shot. If a litter is a good, strong litter or not.
You do.
And you can like push puppies through that are not right. And you say, well, but the parents have health testing. Well, it's like, that
Hey, Mills, what's up?
doesn't mean shit.
Right.
It's like going over there and saying, well, hey, you want to date me? I'm not very good looking, but my parents are. It doesn't matter. What you
Oh, I'm just doing a review of this. He's not on. I'm doing a review of this because Dale has some really good points of this, and I wanted everybody to see it and like really talk through it. And so I really wanted to talk through what this was, because like there's really good points that Dale's making, and I know that a lot of people don't watch all this, and I wanted everybody to see these points and really hear them.
In front of you is what you got.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? I've interviewed a lot of different people, and people who make breeds, and did a lot of mixing, and a lot of them, majority of them, if not all of them, that I know that created breeds or types of dogs, didn't trust the accuracy of the DNA part of those tests. They just didn't. They like, I know what I put in that dog, and it's not right. And then I'm reading articles now that you can send DNA to this company, send it to another company, and it'd be totally different.
Okay. So, all right, a little bit like this is the whole idea. Health testing, DNA. If you want to cheat on that, it's like cheating on your diet. Who are you hurting? This is stuff that you use to get more information so you can be smarter and you can make better decisions. Like with the American Kennel Club, we have the FUS, frequently used sires program. Dog sires, 3 litters in a year, 7 litters in its lifetime. You have to have DNA on file. All right. So because we can have a chain of DNA and saying of these dogs that are influential in the breed. Every time you import a dog, we're the only country that does any DNA. So the only one. So every time you import a dog, you go, oh, that's a lovely pedigree. I'll hang it on the wall. It might not be worth the paper it's printed on.
Right.
You don't know. They may not know. They may be shady as heck. You don't know. You just got this piece of paper worth, pretty enough to hang. But, what you know is what you do yourself. That's why you have to do the litters. You have to do the breedings, because when you see the puppies, you're going to know.
You're going to know. Yeah.
You're going to know, and that's where, when you look at your own dogs and you say, well, I know what I have.
Right.
Bad, whatever. Every time you go outside of that circle, you're taking a little chance. You have to go out, but you want to try to go out with people that you feel that you can respect.
Right.
And that they're kind of got the similar ideas that you do.
Exactly.
And that you're can kind of work with, but you bring in carefully, and before you bring something else onto your yard, you better know what you're bringing in, because it might be a Trojan horse. It might look so beautiful and just be a whole pack of trouble, And I mean, 100 years ago, I bought a dog one time. Beautiful dog. Oh my God, it was a pretty dog. He won a best in show as a non-champion class dog from the classes. Never done that before or since. Fine animal. Wow. I bred him like 6 bitches. He produced over 90% bad bites.
Really? Yeah.
And then I found out later he was from a litter of 7, and he was the only one that had a good bite.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because that's
So it was a dominant trait.
explains it. Okay.
Yeah.
So like I had a lady gave me a good tip in this breed, the Corso, right? I was a little skeptical of a female that I had shipped over, and she just gave me her best advice. But the one thing she told me, because she was in the pedigree with this dog too, she said, "Well, just make sure you leave yourself an out." You know what I mean? Just don't abandon everything else and leave yourself an out. And that I always will remember that when I'm breeding, if I'm a little bit skeptical about something I'm bringing in. But I want to ask you this, because you don't put down some dogs, you've seen some things. What are the telltale signs when to bring in an outcross?
Absolutely. That's a good question. So part of the reason that people breed hybrid dogs, like everything with the doodle frenzy, the doodle craze and all that, is because when you breed 2 breeds together, you get these puppies. None of the problems that none of the problems that the poodle has are the same problems that the golden retriever has. Right. So they're going to mask it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you're going to get this hybrid, which is going to probably be stronger than either parent. It's kind of like a mule, where you've got the donkey and the horse. You have all of this outcross strength and productivity and health. Yeah. And I mean, it's like, it's a 1 generation trick.
Right.
There's not any consistency beyond that generation, right? Because you're going to go back into one side or the other. But that is the power of hybrid vigor. That's why those dogs were such a phenomena, because they took 2 established breeds or other breeds, crossing them, getting the hypoallergenic coat of the poodle in these other breeds, and making very desirable pets, which, I mean, there have been gazillions of them sold, but it's not a sustainable breed. It's not a breed. It's a hobby. And so when you start talking about, when you are working within a breed and you start holding back on there and you start tightening down your COI, your breeding coefficient, you're going to get more consistent puppies. And so if Joe likes a dog with a pretty head and something with a big space between the eyes and all that, you're going to start keeping back more dogs of that similar type. You're going to line breed tighter on those. But as you start to ratchet it in to get the consistency, you're going to lose production.
Right.
You're going to double on all of the good things and all of the bad things.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that starts to go is productivity.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have breeds that are no longer naturally breeding, no longer naturally whelping, they're needing all this assist in
Bully breeds.
in nursing and weaning, and they need all this assist on. I mean, we got oxygenators, and we're doing all of this extra stuff to keep to. What we're doing is we're putting our fingers on the scale of fate to tip it into our favor. Well, you can only push Mother Nature around for so far,
right?
And then she's going to go, oh hell no,
right?
These are not strong enough, and that's when you start seeing dogs are going to start. Your bitches are going to start to pyometra.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to start getting bitches that are bad mothers. You're going to get low birth weight. You're going to get questionable production, like their cycles, they won't come in as normally or early or for as long. Their puppies might be pretty, but they're harder to get from them, and you're going to work harder on them.
Right.
The stud dogs are going to start to lose some of their reproductive prowess. You're going to be having to do AIs 100% of the time. They might, instead of having a 98 collection count, they might have an 82, which will still get them pregnant.
Right.
But you go ahead and start line breeding onto those stud dog that you can only get them pregnant if you're doing a surgical insemination because the count is down in the 70s or 80s, which is functionally sterile.
Right.
And you start doing these things and you pull these dogs back into production against Mother Nature's will.
Right.
And then eventually you end up with nothing. You ever end up with these dogs that may or may not be very pretty. The chicken breeders inbreed until the production starts to sincerely drop off to nothing.
Right. And
just only at that point will they bring in new blood.
Right.
Right.
And in a little bit of a way, that's kind of the same idea. When you start to lose your production, when you start to lose the strength of your breed, the health, the vitality, I think they get a little, they're not as smart. Easy to train.
Yeah, true. And then something I noticed too is breeding them while they're young.
And they have bad temperaments.
The litters seem to be different. If you have an old bitch versus a young bitch and a young stud, it seems to be a lot different to me. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. So, it's kind of like having your kids.
Mm-hmm.
You can have all the kids you want in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a lot of kids. You can have some more kids on into your 30s.
Yep.
If you've been having kids in your 20s and your 30s, you can still be having kids on into your 40s.
Yeah.
All right. If you had, because you've got that continued production, what younger animals should be reproductively stronger. They might not be the smartest, kind of like young parents.
Yeah, right.
but they're going to produce strong.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have the strongest puppies, the strongest. Well, I was like, and kind of like when a bitch is 5 years old, it's kind of like having babies in your 50s.
Right.
Probably shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
And that's where you start. Reproduction is for the young.
Right.
And part like in breeders, I get a good bitch. I want to breed her. I want to breed her as much as I can up until 5 years of age, and then she's done.
Mm-hmm.
Done. You can't make a cake out of old eggs.
Right.
You just aren't. Your puppies just aren't as nice out of them after they get to that older age.
Right.
And one thing, if you're going to breed to something, if you're going to use an old dog, at least breed them to a younger bitch. Try not to have both of the parents on the very last leg of their production.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna switch gears just.
And I don't understand why people don't, if they have an old male or if they have a male that they really like and they want to continue to use, why don't they collect him while he's younger and his sperm has vitality to it?
For a little bit. I was reading in my research of you. You were living in Texas, and this segment gonna kind of roll into pure breed dogs. Sometimes I wonder if it's a war on pure breed dogs. seems like. But
There is.
you had a incident, they call it the mole incident. Take us behind the scenes. You had to stand up, get some legislation in 2011 and 2012 with some puppy mill bills. What was all that about?
Well, so we as breeders, it's really important that wherever you have your dogs, you're legal to have them. You need to be in compliance. That is a safe, smart thing to do. If your dogs, breeders need to be as in compliance to their state, their their area, to have your dogs legally. And so, and if that means, keeping your rabies shots up, if you can get a kennel license, a lot of people in our dog breeding community live under the wire.
Mhm.
They don't tell, it's a part of the reason of the isolationism is that they think they don't have kennel licenses. They have their dogs
I agree. And I think there should be way more people vetted.
unzoned places. Well, the anti-dog legislation is extremely popular, and we had some, and it's very corrupt, super corrupt, because it's a $1 billion industry too. They
Right.
raise money because they can't agree on anything else, but everyone can agree that you should take good care of dogs.
Right.
Now,
I agree. And I think if you're going to be a breeder, you should have a license. You should be vetted. I think that you should allow people to come in and literally look at your kennels, check your kennels.
and it's too hard to find people in the public that aren't taking good care of their dogs. We see it every day.
Right.
We see them in the road. We see them in the dishes. It's easier to find the breeders because they have an address. Let's pick on these people, these random people here that are, they don't have any money. They're not spending any money on their dogs. So we had a PETA-based group that brought legislation in Texas opposing breeders that wanted to pass extraneous, expensive, terrible legislation that would make it almost impossible to have a license,
Wow. Yeah.
and it would cost you thousands of dollars a year to do that. You could never come up with a way to maintain it. But the great thing was it was super dirty because the lady that was bringing the bill was she's actually an 80-year-old legislator named Synfronia Thompson from Houston, and she didn't care two hoots about a dog. I don't think she would tap her brakes for a dog, honestly. But the girl that worked in her office, her aide, her best girlfriend was the PETA lobbyist. So they got old Synfronia to sign on this stuff, and they had it. It was locked and loaded and dirty all the way through. And one of the vets that they had in there, she was an animal rights activist, and she was supposed to be and all it takes is about, like what you did, about 10 minutes on Google and checking social media, and you can put all the lines together as to who knew who.
Right.
And so I may have come out and said it. I may have just come out and said, hey, that sucks, and that's not right, and you all are crooked, and you don't care anything about dogs. You just care about making money, and and it'll live on forever on the internet. But the legislation did eventually pass, unfortunately, but then it didn't get funded, so it's not enforced. They, if you look right now on the Texas, the legislation on their thing, I don't know if they have 200 people that have licenses. Texas is a huge state, and there are thousands of breeders and less than 200
in Texas, and and there's thousands of puppy mills in Texas.
of them have a license because everybody just under the wire because they don't have any enforcement money.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of a sad story on a great state that used to be really pro breeder, but not much anymore.
Right. And this area we're in, I'm in Arkansas, Texas.
That's very pro breeder.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. Oh yeah, we good over here. Yeah. Oklahoma seems pretty good. Yeah, it's a Missouri.
I think Ohio should be vetted and have a breeder license. I think a lot of states should be. I think that's one of the big things because honestly, it seems like if you're a criminal, you can be a breeder, and I think they should go into every kennel. I think if you want to be a breeder, you should have a kennel, have a license, allow them to come in, allow them to check your kennels, make sure that you're breeding correctly, do all this stuff. I don't have a problem with it. If you have nothing to hide, then why can't they come in, check your kennel, do all this stuff? I don't think that they should have, and I'm not for government being in your business and shit like that, but if they can do it on farms and check horses and cows and do all that stuff, why can't they check your dogs? It's one way that you can pay taxes on your litters and do all this shit and have all this stuff. Because if you're a criminal and you're a felon and all this stuff, why can't you? It's just another way for you to go under the radar and make money selling these poor innocent animals, because everybody's a breeder nowadays.
For the most part, is okay. I think they have a lot of stuff going on, some attempts and things like that. But that's one of the questions people ask me, and I'll ask you: where are the best places to live if you want to be a breeder, state-wise?
Well, so that's a very good if you're breeding dogs, depending on the type of dog you have to be near a metropolitan area and an airport of some sort.
Yes, sir.
Unless you're going to try to only sell local to your area. So you're going to have to be in that. You have to kind of figure that out. I would not shy away from a state that had rules, because tell me what the rules are and I can do it.
Yeah, you figure it out. Yeah.
So check out your rules.
And that's the thing. Follow the rules. Take care of your animals. Do all the right things. And I don't have a problem with you being, hey, Picari, and I don't have a problem of you being a breeder. But I think that there should be regulations, and I think that they should be able to come in on any given notice and check your kennel. If they can do it on farms, and they can do it with horses, and do it with all this stuff, why can't they do it on kennels? Especially with people that have like hundreds of dogs. I mean, like I said, I live in Ohio, and we have Amish that have cages stacked up that should be definitely vetted. I can tell you, I can't throw a rock and not hit a kennel. So I have no problem with having regulations and having people vetted and having some kind of license to where you should have to have a license to be a breeder.
Your zoning, check out your ordinances, and try to go ahead and keep the as close to the legal number as you can.
Right.
A lot of times because like we were talking about today, breeders don't need to have as many dogs as they used to. And there's also such thing as doing guardian homes. So especially like if you, with your breed, you have a larger breed, you can go ahead and have a nice bitch that you might want to breed, and you put her with a nice family and say, I want to breed her a couple of times. And this is one of, and you keep her and bring her back and that kind of thing.
Right.
The people, and you can work. I mean, you can do some stuff where you don't have to keep every single dog that you're wanting in your program.
Right.
There's all sorts of things like that. You have to decide,
People don't want to do that. People want to they want to nickel and dime everybody to death. They want all this stuff. People don't do what Dale's talking about. People back in the day used to do guardian homes where you take the bitch or you take the dog and then they get breeding rights and all that stuff. Now everybody, they charge you. Oh, I want, X amount of money, plus I want so many puppies, plus I want so many litters, blah, blah, blah. They don't do guardian homes like what he's talking about anymore, because everybody's like, oh, I need, $10,000 plus blah, 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 bullshit. Because everybody's like, I need, to make as much money as possible. So what he's talking about is totally different than what people used to do back in the day where we did guardian homes.
And that's when I think breeders have to work together in a little bit of community, so nobody keeps all the dogs themselves,
Right.
And, so that we have we have diversity and we can keep dogs. But check out your zoning, check out your stuff, be smart about your advertising, be smart about how you do this. Remember, there are people that are looking, so don't put your addresses on your website, use a PO box.
Yes.
Don't have, kind of figure out how you want to do it, stuff. Limit your access on there and stuff. Don't put every dog you own on your website.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Kind of be smart about it, because I'm from the generation. We didn't have cell phones when I was a kid. We didn't have the internet. So all this, I had to learn all this at a later point in life. But the young people today, they're very savvy. You keep your web presence for your breed there. That's a good thing. But keep your access
right. Watch it. Yeah, watch it, guys. He's telling the truth. I don't put my address up. I'm sure they can find it, but being in this dog media too, those who've been following me a lot, I've interviewed many people. Sometimes they bring their enemies to me. So I have to be careful. I had to be very careful. I've been in all kind of stuff doing this. so yeah.
I'll tell you one group that is really good. And they're based out of Oklahoma, called the Calvary Group.
Oh, she's been on Mindy Patterson.
Mindy Patterson. Love her.
Yeah.
Mindy.
Yeah, we got to do it again, Mindy. We need to do it again.
She is our gladiator. She fights for, and if you have a kennel and your kennel license, you should have a membership in the Calvary Group, because number one, we need to support people that support us.
That's right. Yeah.
And number two,
it's like 250.
Friend. If you have a problem, you want Mindy Patterson on your side.
You sure do. Yep. We got to get her back on here to talk about some of that legislation. They working that Greyhound stuff. And I know they changed some of the language, but we still need to talk about it. Dale, I know I said an hour. Give me about 15 more minutes. I swear I'm going to let you go. Okay. So do you mind if I show some of those pictures you sent me?
Oh, sure.
Okay. I'm going to ask you these maybe two more questions. If anybody got a question, now is the time. Let me put up this comment. The individual channel. Hello, I love Dale. I have a dandy Denmark Terrier, and I am involved with preservation. We got 2 Group 4s at our last 2 local shows, and we never miss your Tack Box podcast.
Awesome. Great.
So his podcast is called the Tack Box Podcast. I recommend that everybody go and listen to it. He's a really great guy. He talks about a lot of stuff.
Great breed, and everybody that has a breed like that is a preservation breeder. Right. And good on them for doing the work to keep that amazing breed strong and healthy.
Right. Let me ask you this. Everything stripped away, what is the single most advice you could give breeders to follow to survive their first 10 years?
I'm going to tell you, it's the about. Mm-hmm. And if as long as it's about your dogs, mm-hmm. and it's about you doing with your dogs, you will be successful. Because it's, if it's about you, it's about your dogs and about what you're going to do with them, you can't lose, because you don't need any other outside acclamation or affirmation. Mm-hmm. You just do the very best with your dogs, have fun, enjoy the great people that you're going to meet that share your passion. Mm-hmm. It's a church of sorts, and you're not going to love everybody in there. Well, work on it, do your best. But you're going to meet you're going to meet your best friends there. And there's just it's a great thing. I can't imagine my world without my dogs and my dog people. It's been a livelihood and a life for me.
Right. Let me ask you this. When people read your kennel name and pedigrees 50 years from now, what would you want them to really know about your dogs and the special dogs that carried the program for you?
I would just I'd like people to go ahead and to think they shared some really good dogs with people, and they let people have some really, really nice dogs. And, and we made our breeds, we made our breeds better, and we made them accessible to people. And we were good stewards of our breeds, that we, made them stronger, made them better, and that we brought people in. And I think that's part of the thing, like these podcasts and all that, we can help bring people in, help them do better with their dogs, and kind of give back. It's a little bit of a giving back thing.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming and everything. As far as your outlook on the future of dog breeding, dog showing, how does it look to you? Does everything seem to be up and up? Is the mentorship exchanging to the next mind?
I think I'm an optimist. Mm-hmm. I think every litter I've got coming up is going to be the best litter I've ever had. Mm-hmm. And I think that we are going into the golden age of dog breeding now, because we have all this technology and we have all of this online resource, and we can cast this huge net with the internet and social media mm-hmm. that never could do before. And so I think that there's unlimited possibilities. I envy the young breeders coming in and to have more time to play. But I think it's an amazing time. There's negativity. It just depends as to where you want to live. I don't live in negativity. I don't think about, oh, this was good, now it's not. I accept change, move forward, and take the good change along. Some of the change you might not like as much, but there's a lot of good change. And I think that we're doing better with our dogs now, and we have more information out there. We've got some killer good registries with AKC and all that are more breeder centric. I think we have a very consolidated pushback against some of the animal rights stuff and the PETA, HSUS stuff, where they're just trying to stomp us out. I think they're kind of hit a wall, and people are kind of going, no, I like my purebred dogs. I like it. It's a marijuana, it's a real deal. And, it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that we should not apologize for what we do. We should say it loud and proud, and we should just do a good job with it.
Right. You know what? Also, you were saying like moving things positive. I think these podcasts help too, because I interview all kind of people. And one thing that's always said, dog shows are killing breeds and different things like that. But as I cover these breeds, I'm seeing, and other people are seeing, different things you can attract from each side, right? Like working dog people, if they're, I say the uneducated ones, don't understand how powerful structure is. You have to know structure for your dogs to work like that and things like that. So, So what are your thoughts on that? Should it be different, working side or show side, or is the dog working in the show versus working in the field?
Right. So, when you have the standard for the dog, and so the standard for the dog is the blueprint of the house.
That's right.
And when I come to judge your dogs, I'm a guest in your house. And your standard is the rules you put forward on your breed, on where the importance lies. And so if your importance is in form and function, and like I just got done doing the national specialty for min pins, and those dogs have this like amazing Hackney gait and this very cool shape with top line and drive. And I mean, they're like little athletes, the way they stand on their toe. I mean, and it's like, you have to see them, you judge them for who they are, for what they are, for what's important for them. And for what it might be important for one breed, might not be as important for another.
Right.
And so that's where the breed standards.
I love when somebody talks about, when they're talking about a breed, you like how excited somebody gets. So when you're talking about a breed that you're not in, but he's still excited about that breed. I love when somebody does that, and the Hackney of the min pin. That's cute. I love that. That's their gait, right?
Are the house rules, and the judge should judge to the standard for the breed. And people are always going to complain. The complainers, always seem to find their way to the microphone to have their biggest gripe. I don't know. I think dogs at dog shows are people that are interested in their breed. They're interested in their structure. They're interested in what makes the breed good.
Right.
And I think that you need to educate your eye, and you need to go to every one of your specialties, and you just need to see what's this other house bringing? What do they have? What do their dogs look like now? I mean, I've seen their pictures, and their Photoshop is amazing. I want to see the dogs.
Right.
That's the truth. Their Photoshop is amazing. Right.
I want to see what they look like, and see if it's when the smoke clears away, what do we got here?
Right.
And that's where going to the shows. If you're not going, you're flying blind. You got to go and see. If you can't go and see, then you watch the live feed and you watch the live streaming. Because you can't Photoshop that.
Can't Photoshop that. It's correct. Because all these pictures that you see online is probably not what you would see in real life, or what you would put your hands on, or what you would see in the videos. Because in the videos is going to tell you what the real dog is. In real life is what the dog is. These photos that you see, they're just photos. And anybody can make a dog look gorgeous. I can stack a dog up on a hill and give you the best top line. I can put something in the background on an angle that makes the dog look great. Doesn't mean that's what the dog truly is. And a good handler can stack a dog and make it look gorgeous and take a photo. But when the dog is moving, when the dog is in person and you're putting the hands on the dog, does not necessarily mean that's what the dog really is. And that's what he's trying to say.
That's right.
How they walk is how they're made. And
Yep.
And, I mean, you go in there and you see 5, 6, 7 dogs out of a stud dog, then you like them all.
Mhm.
No, it might be something worth thinking
Because that's a dog can reproduce himself.
about,
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, you go in there. I mean, those are the things you go to those shows, you're going there for your information, your continuing education. And that's information you're taking back home. And it's like where you're going to come away like, I can do better now. I know more.
Right. Right.
I sat there.
And you have to think about that. So a stud dog out of 5 or 6 dogs out of the same stud dog, those are 5 or 6 different bitches, right? So if he can throw himself with 5 or 6 different bitches and they're all from different pedigrees, that's a dog that's as dominant in traits that can rethrow himself. That's that's what we would consider a producing male, not what people are calling producing males today. I don't understand all these different terminologies.
Ringside at Specialties and ordered pedigrees online on my laptop going, I'm going to buy.
Right.
I bought a dog in Germany while I was sitting ringside going, oh, I want that. That's good pedigree. I like these puppies. And before I left, I had a dog from that breeding. It's like going, yeah, this is worth doing.
Right.
My dog was 8 years old from Germany, and he was the #1 stud the next year,
Right.
because that pedigree was just working, man. They had good stuff going. And I think that's knowing you want to do your own thing. And I encourage individuality, but why don't you stand on the shoulders of the people that are successful?
Exactly. Exactly.
If you've got someone that's doing good stuff and they got a good formula, you're not a fool not to take advantage of that.
Right. And then, I like to go to the shows and look, because I'm in a recreated breed, which it takes, several different breeds to make it happen.
Mhm.
I believe you should even study around those other breeds that, that made them. But, hey, Dale, you want to know something? You know who I think who are the most powerful people in dogs? I think it's the handlers, and I think it's the dog trainers. They know the dog. They know these different lines of dogs. They know the temperament of these dogs. A lot of them know how they're bred. The trainers, it's a saying, a young broom can sweep the floor, but an old broom know where all the dirt is. And I think the handlers and the trainers just know so much about these dogs that, you got to participate in shows. You got to handle the dogs. And there are some of the
I think when you walk in there and you show your dog,
mm-hmm.
you know what you want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you can turn in there. You can see what else is going in there,
mm-hmm.
and you can kind of come away and go, I need to work on this.
Right.
I mean, because I think it's like, I think sending dogs to be shown is not a bad thing.
Right.
But
When you're
a little bit
your own dog, you know what you need to work on yourself. That's what he's saying. A handler can show anything. They just have the gift. But when you have to show your own dog against somebody else that's a pro, it's totally different.
doing it yourself. That's one-on-one, man. You can't.
Right.
That's hard. That's hard to pass by because you know what you got, and you know what the win looked like.
Yep.
Right.
You know what the win looked like.
That's right. Well, Dale, I appreciate you coming and everything. And audience, I just want you to let you know I hadn't scratched the surface with him. So do your research on him. You're gonna be very surprised, like I was. I was looking at it like, God, there's so many subjects I could have tackled with him. That's why I was just kind of just tithering all over the place tonight because he know too much.
Yeah.
He's done too much.
He writes a lot of articles. He's fantastic. I definitely go to Facebook. He has his own Facebook. He definitely has his own podcast. He talks a lot about a lot of things. I definitely go follow him and listen to his stuff. He's definitely somebody you learn a lot of knowledge from.
He's everywhere. You can see him in magazines. You see him everywhere. So he just did it. He sent me pictures, man. I mean, like I really could have put a documentary out with all those pictures and everything like that, man. But I want to say I appreciate you coming. And any last words you want to say to the audience?
Well, hey, you know what? Stick with Joe. You got a good source of information here, and your breed is lucky to have you. And keep up the good work, man.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Likewise, y'all make sure to follow the Tack Box Podcast. All right. Yeah, we out. See you, brother. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Step into the
So I wanted to share that because I thought it was definitely something, because I know that not everybody follows Joe. Some of the people have told me you didn't even know who he was. So I wanted to share that definitely review that. He gives a lot of information. So I wanted to share that today and go over that. And then I know that he was he's going to do he's going to talk about tonight. He's going to talk about the Doberman issue. He's got a lot of stuff coming up. I've done a couple with him and stuff like that. So, you know, definitely go check him out and stuff like that. I know that one now I've done one with him. Do you really need a badass dog? And I guess another one he put on members only. If you go on and search my name, you can only do this one, and the other one you have to be a member of his community to see, I guess. But I done two with him. I did a part 2, but you can't see it unless you're a member, I guess. But there's this one that I did 3 months ago, and then I did another one. But yeah, definitely go check Joe out, and then because tonight he's doing this one with Armin, where they're going to talk about the Doberman cross, where they're going to save the Doberman breed, which I have a couple different feelings about that. But anyway, I wanted to share that. But I wanted to share definitely the one with Dale. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to come on and kind of go over and do that. But not a lot of stuff today. Anyway, so that's all I have for you today. Not a lot of stuff to go over. Doesn't seem like anybody really is interested anyway. So might have stuff for you Thursday or Friday, but that's all I have for today. So until next time.
Man, club just a system, but the deck set to fail. You speak for transparency, they call it a crime. Next day, you suspended for 6 months of your time. Pedigree, politics, trophies on the wall, vanity awards, while the ethics take a fall. They say it's for the free, but we know what it is. Power in the clubhouse, silence in the beer. Pedigree, politics, ribbons and lies. Smiles at the banquet, but the truth in disguise. You can muzzle the voice, but the truth don't quit. Dog show, Kingdom Bells, don't counterfeit grit.